Congratulations, you have completed all the 3 lessons. Next, we will make a fun game with the knowledge that we have learned. How is the game made, do you wonder? Generally, the production of the game is divided into 3 categories: design, art, and programming. Game design is mainly to think about the core gameplay and the background story. Game art is mainly responsible for the concept art, digital painting, 3D modeling, and etc. However, Clickly comes with its own resource manager, which is enough to create object and environment for our games. Next is the game programming. In the computer games, the gameplay needs to be implemented through code, but in Clickly, simply ECA logic can satisfy your most gameplay design. Each of these steps is important to game production, and I'm sure Clickly can fulfill all these functions, allowing you to make game demos by yourself. Our shooting game will be designed from 2 perspectives: easy fun and hard fun. Easy fun means that in the game, giving players a simple but novel experience will gradually make them addicted. The story background of the game is that the protagonist Mike pilots a plane and fights with his rivals all the way, and finally overcomes difficulties and wins. In terms of gameplay, players only need to use the right mouse button to move and the left mouse button to shoot. It's so easy to play this game with just 2 fingers. But easy fun cannot arouse the player emotional experience from the gameplay, so we'll also use hard fun. So simple game experience will only make players bored. We need to add appropriate difficulty to the game, so that the players can earn epic achievements after successfully conquering challenges. Therefore, in the boss design, we combine skill output and character operation to feel the hard fun of the game. Since Clickly has its own resource manager, we can directly use terrain textures and game models to build the scene. Just select the terrain texture you like to draw the game area, and the basic map is done. One thing to note: we need to use ground collision to delineate our game area so that our game character does not fly out of the interface. Then set models and data. Clickly has a wealth of models. You can choose your favorite to use, and the attributes can also be adjusted according to your own game design. We create a new project under Unit, select the model we like, and modify the fixed attributes. Then, set the appearance of the bullet fired by the game character and the explosion effect after bullet hits. We also have attack buff and HP buff. Boss skills, warning, and launch. Similarly, enter the object editor, create a new project under projectiles, and then set the appearance of bullets, buffs, and skills in turn. In the fight shooting game, we use ECA to achieve game initialization, game mouse operation, buff enhancement, boss challenge, and game outcome. In the game initialization phase, we need to implement the camera to follow the player, and also set the variable to initial value of the game character's damage. Create a new trigger and select initialization in the event. Add a new action to make camera follow the player unit. In addition, in order to record the shooting damage of the game character, create a new global variable. The name is damage, and the type is float. Now, we have completed the game initialization settings. To achieve mouse operation in the game, we set the right button for character movement and left button for shooting. Let's start by looking at how the player moves the unit. We only need one simple command to do it. When we press the right mouse button, make the character move the mouse position. Then, when the player presses the left mouse button, they stop moving and shoot in the direction the character is facing. Therefore, 3 actions need to be performed with the triggering of the event. First, set the moving character to stop moving. 2. Set the character's orientation to the direction pointed by the mouse. 3. Fire bullets in the direction pointing by the mouse. The event is left mouse button is pressed. The action is mic stops moving. Next, add a new local variable, mic angle, as the unit orientation. And its positions is where the mouse is pointing. Then, add an action to make the game character mic face the variable angle we just set. We need to use the function library to make bullet trajectory and damage effects. Enter the function library, create a new function, and edit its names and description. Then, add the mover to set the trajectory of the bullet linear motion and the damage caused. Remember to remove the mover after the movement is completed, and delete the projectile wheel after removing it. Finally, set the shooting damage of the bullet. When we complete the bullet shooting command in the function library, return to the trigger and add this command to the event of pressing the left mouse button. Let's take a look on how the buff enhancement is achieved. Usually a buff refers to adding a magical effect to the character that can enhance its own abilities. In this game, we have two kinds of buffs, HP buff and attack buff. When the character enters the HP buff area, 4 actions will be triggered. First, turn off the trigger, because our buff has only one chance to be used. If the trigger is now turned off, this buff will become a bug and will be used repeatedly. Second, the character gets the buff and text prompt will be given in the game. Third, when you get the buff, destroy the green circle on the ground. Fourth, add HP to the character. We need to draw the region of the HP buff in the editing interface, and then cooperate the trigger event Mike enter HP buff to trigger subsequent actions. After entering the attack area, the logic of triggering the action is the same as the HP buff. But the only difference is that when the character gets the attack buff, it will increase the attack power. Let's see how to do it. Now we are going to set boss area. When the character enters the boss area, related actions will be triggered. 1. Turn off the trigger to prevent the character from going out of the area and activate it again. 2. Let the boss issue an attack command to Mike. 3. Set boss release skills every 5 seconds. 4. Set boss skill details. Early warning and release skills. We need to use regions in the interface to draw the diving line into the boss area. Because the region function cannot be used alone, a trigger is required to achieve the effect. Enter the trigger editor. The event is that when Mike enters the boss area, turn off the trigger. And command the boss to attack Mike. Then set the boss to release skills every 5 seconds. Then set loop integer from 1 to 10. Then set loop 1 to 10, which means that the boss activates 10 skills every 5 seconds at a random position. Next, we need to use function library to make the boss skill effect and damage. Create new projectiles. Mike will make damage within the range of the skill. Set the transversal skill radius to 150. Finally, add boss skill boom from function library to action list under the loop trigger. At last, set the victory and defeat conditions. If the game character dies, the game fails. If the boss dies, the player wins. Congratulations! You have completed the fly shooting game by yourself and successfully graduated from the training camp.